Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Saint Anton in Austria. Can't believe I'm saying this. Live from Austria, you know. The Eli Stefansky, my grandmother's from Austria. You know that, right? Fisher. And this, the Pinchas brought a son and a son-in-law. What's your name again, the son-in-law? Jonathan Strauss. Where do you live? Riverdale. So what? All the ganze Mishpucha moved to America and you stayed there? You have any kids in Schweiz?
Yeah, two.
Gewaldig. Okay. Beautiful. Rabbi Isai, it's a gewaldige time here. We had a great day today. The Nefeis HaBoira out of control. It's overwhelming. We went to this place called Zugspitze, something like that. Zug. Zug, like a har, like a barg. Zugspitze. Saying Zug. It says there's a Z, so I said Zug. Here. Zugspitze in Germany, top of Germany, highest point, one of the highest points, overlooking these beautiful lakes in the Nefeis HaBoira Mamish. We're above everything, and look at that lake. And there's like little paddle boats and little, people are just enjoying themselves. It was great. We spent mamish the whole day on top over there, going to different places and looking. And there was the ice from glaciers, and yeah. The boy said the food here is also a little bit out of control. Gashmis is out of control here. A great chef, great pastry chef. Okay. So, he says he sees a chayal learning, but we know what this is. Okay. For our new Gemara, give me the Gemara for a second. I'll show the Olam, the official edition Gemara, the MDY Gemara, finale Gemara. These are the new sponsored Dabim. Yisrael Schwartz, Ben Kiss, Tzvi Jacobs, Yumi Shoner, Shlomi Rosenberg. Haven't heard from him in a while. Yossi Willig, Akiva Palmer, Salfishi Fisher, Moishele's famous son, Moishele Darren, Elisheva Edelstein, Moshe Zared, Yishkoyach Moshe Zared, Ezriel and Gitti Rappaport, and by L'Shadach, Yishmei Ret the Shidduch today. Remember that one? Daniel Yeager, Yishkoyach, all these people who donated a daf. It's going to be in the Gemara. Lo'ilam Vad, basically, and you should know next cycle around is going to be better because we're just getting better. We hired new people, new artists. So Bezer Hashem, upcoming editions are going to have many, many more pictures. The goal is to have one picture per Amud. And Kumtzarain, 40 people showed up from Eretz Yisrael today on a chartered plane just to this program. So we had a bunch of people. They're coming in. They're streaming in Lat. Love this guy utilizing his time. Baruch Foreman, downtime is daf time. This is not working. Oh, happy 15th birthday, Yechiel Kitai. Monsey, New York, started the daf, Tainas daf, Bays, at 10 years old. You believe that? 10 years old. His father was at the Shabbaton, for sure, one, maybe even all of them. This is an article. Oh, this is for you guys, the Schwitz people. Article in the Swiss paper, something you guys have over there. What is that? Does anybody read it?
Yeah, sure.
It's
a
Haredi paper.
Yeah, it's the main Haredi paper in Switzerland.
How do you know?
Switzerland. I lived in Switzerland.
Yeah. Lived in Switzerland. So one thing I got to tell you, unbelievable. I mentioned, almost like in passing, not in passing, I showed us a shot that we're doing a Shabbaton for the Israelis, those who live in Israel. It could be it's for anybody around the world, really. We're taking the entire hotel, the Royal Hotel on the Dead Sea, Yam HaMelech, entire hotel. So I mentioned it one time. All the rooms sold out, besides the upgraded rooms. So I think we have like maybe 50 rooms left, if anything, which is garnished. I mentioned it once. We didn't advertise. I feel bad. So I guess the Israeli Chevra are very into it. A bunch of Americans are looking into it. They want to fly in. It's going to be a great time. This year we're not doing a Shabbaton, I don't think. I don't think we're doing an English Shabbaton. It doesn't look like we're doing one. 90% chance of it not happening. Instead, we're doing the Sima Shas, etc. So maybe that's why there's excitement. The official edition of the MDY Shas, you just saw it, the Masechet Spaz by Zevin Yal Sholhof, the Perek by Ilana Mary Davidovici that are coming next Shabbos, the Lishmas Yishai ben Aaron, and Yocheved Chava Itel Bas Avraham, Daf Nun Zayin Nisim Akilov, in honor of the Akilov family. Thank you. By David Salom, the Masechet sponsored, the regular Masechet sponsored by David Salom, dedicated memory of Avi Meir Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zechron Livracha. This year, the Masechet sponsored by the Palashik family, also coming for Shabbos, in gratitude to the consortium and the Alliance, and all they do to support MDY. It's amazing. A father brought his son Moshe from Yerushalayim to here for Shabbos because his son has done a bunch of daf with us, and his son is like 11 years old. And the son convinced the father to do the daf, so now the father said, they're here. We have, I want to say, 3 kids that schlepped their fathers to Shabbos. One of them is Azriel, that 10-year-old kid that comes into the shir, schleps his father twice a day. This morning, evening is crazy. Anonymous has and thank you to Chief Benny. Shmuel and Ova Schuster for continuing Atzloch and Nachas from our children Omein. Anonymous for complete Refuah Shlema and Erekas Yom Talei Bas Esther. B'Yom and Daniel Rosenfeld. Brias V'Simcha. Monthly sponsors Anonymous Leonishmas Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zev HaKoyen Zechron Livracha. The Tzviz Leonishmas Yonatan Eitan Ben Mordechai Zev HaKoyen Zechron Livracha. Monthly sponsors: Ari Simon, Refuah Shlema, Avi Meir, Baruch Miriam. Anonymous. Refuah Shlema for Rabbi Yerucham ben Yehudis and Avram Yishai ben Slavidvaria. Amen. Weekly sponsors: the Spanish here sponsor a big Refuah Shlema to a close friend, Naftali Hertz ben Chaya Pesia. Should have a Refuah Shlema. Daily sponsors: Alex and Rachel Katz, or Rachel Katz, the 17th yahrzeit of Azriel Katz's great grandfather Mordechai Eliezer Lipa ben Ze'ev Zechrono Livracha. MDY Art. Month, for Shlema Mordechai ben Esther, for Sayel Daniel Zev ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Isai, believe it or not, we are holding. Just show you real quickly the Netivot. It's beautiful. We have 35 satellite locations around Eretz Yisrael. It's just amazing. Some of them are larger than others. And some of them are already in the 40-50 range. So incredible. Remind me to show this. It looks like a poster. I'll show you the picture. Here. Look at this. Mamish looks like a poster, but it's a video. I'll show you in a second. Screensaver. We're holding in Daf Nun Zayin with Aleph on top. I don't know how far we're going to get but this is an ace that we're holding. We're holding because of these long dapim. Once again, we have a very geshmaka, easy daf, typical of Elu Treifus. We're talking about different treifus that you have in chickens and birds. The Mishnah says that if the feet break, then the chicken is okay. Nishtabru gapel, nishtabru raglel. These are Elu treifus that are kosher. These are Elu ksheres, not treifus. Ahu tzino the nikure the asil kamed rava. There's a basket full of chickens that had broken legs, and they came to Rava. It says in the Mishnah that broken legs, kosher. So Rava checked the tzoymes hagidin. So Rabbi say we're going to learn about tzoymes hagidin like you've never seen it before. Here it goes. So first we'll start with the pictures, then we'll move our way into video like you've never seen it. This is from the Kol HaLoshen book. I'll show you here. Tzoymes hagidin is in this area, more or less. It's also in the leg, the yellow part. It's tendons. The Gemara, we're going to learn that there's 16 strands. 16. 11 on one side, 5 on the other side. Check this out. Here's a person. I love this picture from Kol HaShan. Person sticks his finger underneath it to make sure that nothing snapped. And now, check this video out. We have in addition to all our amazing artists that we have, we also have somebody that no one in the world has, and his name is Rabbi Avram Weisfish from Manchester. Huge Talmud Chacham, and he gives us great videos and pictures. Check this out.
This is the chicken, yeah? I'm going to show where the tumis are getting now. So this is where the shoik is, and we're going to cut in the leg. I'm going to try to find the giddin. So if you look over here, I have 16 giddin. 11 on this side and 5 on the other side. And you can see each single gid. Even if just one of them is snapped, it's treifa. Some achsherim check the giddin over here, and some achsherim check the giddin over here.
Okay, Givaldi. So if we just finished here right now, we gained a tremendous amount of knowledge. You hear it a lot. Some Machsherim don't check at all. They take a sample checking. They go with the different chazakas. Some check every one. I think it's a big chumrah to check every single one. I think. Says the Gemara. Omer Rav Yud Omer Rav. So this, we're going to have a lot of freebies. A lot of lashon that's over and over and over. Omer Rav Yud Omer Rav. Shmutas yad bebehema ksheira. If you take a look at the animal, there's the front and there's the rear. Here you see how the joint popped out. That would be kosher. Even if the tendons snapped. Back over here, the hind leg, if it popped, if the tendon snapped, then it's treif. So you take whatever makes a treif in the back leg, and you say that on the front foot, the Gemara calls it a yad, that's kosher. So the back one, the only time it's treif is if it's the tendon snap. That same thing on the front, the tendon snap, would be kosher, even if the tendon snap. Omer Rav Yud Omer Rav shmutas yad, if the ball came out of the socket, bebehema ksheira, if it happened in an animal, it's kosher, because it's the front. Shmutas yerech bebehema treifa. And if it happened in the rear of the animal, then it's treif. Shmutas yerech ba'oif. Oh, and that's today's sugya. At the end of the day, we're going to see basically the Gemara holds it's treif. Shmutas yerech ba'oif. If this happened, a bird only has 2 feet, not to be confused with a 4-legged bird. It only has 2. So if the 2 back yerech, one of them pops out, treifo. Shmutas gaf ba'oif. And the Gemara is going to try to say that Rav said it's kosher, not kosher, back and forth, repeating itself over and over. It's going to be geshmak. Shmutas yerech ba'oif treifa, shmutas gaf ba'oif treifa, and if the wing pops out, then it's treifa. Why? Chashidon shem nikva hareya. So there's a fascinating thing about the lung of a bird, which is the interesting shape. The bird, its lung doesn't
Expand.
inflate and deflate.
That's the word.
Inflate and deflate. Why? Because a bird flies. And when it flies, it uses up a lot of oxygen. And it'll be too much for it to go, it's too slow. It needs to, it just opens up its mouth and the oxygen comes in, goes through the lungs, through the body, and end of the story. So it operates slightly different than an animal. I don't know how it works by the fish.
It goes through the gills.
Yeah, but fish doesn't have lungs then, because it goes through the gills. I don't know if fish has lungs. A bird does have lungs, although Chizkiah claims that he doesn't think it has lungs, so the Gemara is going to talk about it. Now, the lungs of the bird are kind of intertwined with the ribs. The ribs also, it's more of a solid cage. They almost connect in a way. Embedded. And the lung is embedded with the ribs.
The ribs are embedded into the lung.
How do you know? ChatGPT, or you're just saying what I'm saying? Based on what I'm saying. Okay. So they're different than an animal. And when you pop the wing off, which is connected in that area to the ribs, it's going to rip a little bit. It could rip the lung. So therefore, what's the problem? Just like you check a lung, you check of an animal, you check a lung of a chicken, see if it has a hole in it. So what if the wing came off? How do you check the lung? So Rashi says something interesting. You take a straw, you put it in the esophagus, and you blow in. You're not going to take it with your mouth because you can't remove the lung of the chicken from the body because it might rip. It's embedded over there with the ribs. Memela says Shmuel, check it. If it doesn't leak air, then you know you're good. Rabbi Yochanan also agrees you should check it. Comes Chizkiah says a very interesting thing. A bird doesn't have a lung. So we have to understand, did he mean it literally or not? He does have a lung. Not only that, I'll tell you exactly what it looks like. It literally looks like the color of a red rose. It's very deep red, and it's stationed between its wings. It has a lung. My in real life, what did Chizkiah mean that a bird doesn't have a lung? If you want to tell me it doesn't have a lung at all, I mean, just open up a bird and you'll see it has a lung. What he meant to say is, maybe, he has a lung. Just you're not going to make a treif out of it. It's not going to hurt anything. If it has a hole, big deal. It doesn't make it treif. But that can't be. Every treifa an animal has, you can do the same treifa in a bird. So we know that one of the treifas of an animal is a hole in the lung. That same treifa you would have by a bird. Not only does a bird have the same exact treifas as an animal, yes, a bird has one more than an animal. Nishbar ha'etzem, if its skull breaks, nishbar ha'etzem afafishli nikiv krumshal moyach. If the skull breaks and there's a hole in the membrane of the brain, so that's a treifa by a bird. By an animal, you need a hole through the membrane. By a bird, you don't need that. Even just the broken skull. Ella. So what does Chizkiah mean that there's no, it doesn't have lungs. A bird doesn't have lungs. What it means to say is, that if a bird falls, you know that if a bird falls, you have to check the insides. We have to be concerned of a nefula, risuk evarim. What you don't have to check is the lungs. Why? Because the lungs have nice protection from the rib cage. We're not concerned. And if a chicken So if he burnt himself on a barbecue, let's say, and his organs turned green, he's treif. I'll tell him a story, why not? Just to show how the Olam is thinking and learning, even when we eat. We had a great soup, we have a great chef here, and in the soup there's something very, very green. You were also thinking about it. What were you thinking?
This slide over.
Oh.
The chicken with the.
So we asked him, what is this green? It's like, I've never seen such a, green. So he's like, it's oil, burnt, green onion oil. Green onion oil. Whatever that means. And these guys are thinking to themselves, they say, maybe it was red that turned green. It's like, the Pasha thinking and learning the whole day. It's unbelievable. Whatever they see has to do with the daf. You also, unbelievable. So says the Gemara. I was thinking I gotta stay away from that part. I ate everything around it. So lo lechomer, that you do not need to check the lung of a chicken if it falls into the flame. Check the liver, the kurkavan, the heart, but not the lungs, because they're protected. My taima, Omer Rav Chana, what's the reason? Hoil v'roiv tzalaseh, beginis aleh, because most of its ribs protect it. Says the Gemara, V'amid Omer Rabbi Yochanan yeshloi v'yeshno k'ol shel ben agapayim. Rabbi Yochanan argues with Chizkiah. He says, no, a bird has a lung. And he goes on to describe the color and what it looks like. It looks like a red rose. Must be Miklal de Chizkiah Savar. Let's like. The last lady he doesn't have. So what's going on here? Machlokes is in Metzias. The Rebbe Yosef, Rebbe Chanina. They say in Eretz Yisrael, Midvar shall beribi from the words of the Galad Dar, who is Chizkiah, Nikir She'ena, Baki B'Tanan Goylo. Till this very day, there's a lot of people who don't eat chicken. Some people say chicken, it's a mix, it has a non-kosher bird in it. Some people don't eat meat, some people don't eat chicken, some people don't eat both. No, for chumras. So you could see that this Galadar didn't eat chicken, because if had he eaten chicken, he would know exactly that it has a lung inside. Today, we get it all packaged, we don't know about the lungs. In those days, you went to Shaykh, you got a chicken, your wife had to cut it open, you had to cut it open. You know this lung, you know everything about it. The Chavetz Chaim says that Lashon Hara, there's no taiva for Lashon Hara. It's almost like a snake eating dirt. That's what he says. Famous Chavetz Chaim. So the Chazon Ish says, you could tell that Chavetz Chaim never spoke Lashon Hara. Because he never spoke Lashon Hara, he doesn't know how geschmack it is. It's super geschmack to speak Lashon Hara. I don't want to talk Lashon Hara about myself, but it's very geschmack. Those who speak know it's very geschmack. Those who had pizza know that pizza is very geschmack. If you never had pizza in your life, you can't say, oh, it's not good. It tastes like garbage. What do you mean? You never tasted it. Some of my boys, they don't eat a lot of stuff. And they tell me, oh, that doesn't taste good. I said, how do you know? How do you know? He says, oh, salmon is not good. But you never tasted salmon in your life. How do you know it's not good? I could see, I could smell it. No, you can't see, you can't smell it. If you don't know. So Mela says the Chazon Ish, Chavetz Chaim didn't know anything about Lashon. He never spoke it. He doesn't know his geschmack. So he says Lashon Hara is the same taiva like a snake eating dirt, because he never did it. He's saying you never ate chicken, so you don't know about the chicken. But what's very interesting is that I had a kiss from Hashem today, that I was eating avocado. The first time in my life that I made a bracha on avocado, because I ate it plain. We're up there on the mountain. I just took avocado. I don't know why. I figured I want to stay away from carbs and milchiks, which are not good for me. And I'll take avocado. Genius idea. So I made a bracha. So somebody corrected me. So I said, no, this is the bracha. So I want to tell the oilam. Then I asked other people. I saw that there was a confusion. Some people say this. What bracha do you make an avocado? Huh? What do you say? What do you think? Anybody? Do we have an Adama here? Does anybody say Adama? You say Adama. Two people say Adama, maybe. You don't count. You ready? Because so the answer is it grows on a real tree, on a serious tree. So it's 8. Once we're talking about that, so another person didn't even know banana. Banana grows on a tree, but since it's one of these trees that don't last very long, so it's Adama. Okay. And pineapple. What do you make in pineapple? But it's a fruit. Hadam. That grows on the ground. Shaila. Watermelon also doesn't grow on a watermelon tree. Strawberries. What bracha do you make on strawberries? It's a fruit. Hadama. Okay, so we just went through some brachas here. Great. The point is avocado. What bracha do you make on avocado? Ha-8. So somebody asked Reb Chaim Kanievsky a question about avocado. So he says, Maza avocado. So the guy who writes this thing, he says, obviously the word avocado is not brought in any of the Rishonim or Achronim. Achronim, but Reb Chaim didn't know about it, so it's not in the Torah. It's not something that's brought down in the Torah. You would have known. But the kasha is that in one of his svarim, he brings down in Hilchos Truma avocado. So Yesh Loimar, it's a whole drush here. Yesh Loimar, that it's after he heard about this avocado business, so he speaks about it. Anyways, Ayin Shom. So it says, I just want to pause here for a minute because I said the story the other day, and I heard the story again today, and when I heard it today again, I cried like a little baby. And then I said it over in the Hebrew shir, and I choked up again. So Be'ez Hashem, right now I'm not going to choke up, I'm going to hold it together. But I think it's a very, very powerful story, and we could all take a lesson from it. I said the story, but I'm going to give a few more details. I think it's kedai. I don't say stories twice in 2 days. Usually I wait at least a week or a month. But a few very important details, and it's fresh It mamish happened 2 weeks ago. They were best friends, but mamish best friends. This guy by the name of Yuri Hertzberg and Wiederman. I don't know Wiederman's first name. Yuri Hertzberg is my brother Rafal's Talmud. Learned by my brother. My brother told me he's a Talmud of his. They both live in Muncie. They both built a shul together, a community together. They traveled by themselves to Eretz Yisrael to learn just for a day. They learn every single day Chavrusa.
Penny.
Oh yeah, that's right, Penny Wiederman. Thank you. And best friends, like best friends could be, travel together, the whole thing. Penny Wiederman, his wife asked him to pick up a kid from school, the whole maisa. He decided to do some chesed on the way. He goes through this neighborhood and there's some construction, and he hears like a thump, as if he went over one of those construction cones, and he stops the car and he sees that he ran over a little 8.5-year-old girl. And he's a Hatzalah. He gets out and he starts doing CPR and everything, and he realizes no pulse. He calls for backup, and more guys come there, and he breaks down. He goes home, and he curls into bed, goes under his blanket and cries. There's a knock on the door. Yuri Hertzberg, choking up. Because this guy is a gibar, mamash a gibar. Yuri Hertzberg and his wife are at the door. And they say, where's Penny? She's in the room. He barges into the room, climbs into the bed, and he comforts Penny. He tells him it's not your fault. It had nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. We have zero tinus on you. Whole thing, whole drasha. 15 minutes was Menachem, and he didn't go home yet. The father, he's coming straight from the hospital. I mean, to hear the stories, Meshuggah, Penny's brother said over the story. Unbelievable the way he said it over. And instead of going home and the kids at home, he goes to his best friend's house to comfort him. It's not to think about the Zulas. And okay, the next day, Penny doesn't want to go to Levaya. He says he can't go. He can't bring himself to go to Levaya. There's so many people there, and it's just so uncomfortable. And his brother, who's a paramedic, comes and tells him, listen, if you go to Levaya, you're not going to have any regrets. But if you don't go to Levaya, you might one day regret it. You might not, but you might, yes. Maybe you should go. And he doesn't want to go. And then he receives a text message from Yuri, who's on the way to his own daughter's Levaya. Again, thinking about his friend, and Yuri tells him in the text, he says that he has zero tinus on him, and he knows it's all from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that his daughter didn't leave this world even 1 minute before she was supposed to leave. This is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu determined to begin with, and he knows that he wasn't speeding and he wasn't texting, and it's mamish not his fault. But he's going to have a taina on him if this story is going to create a pirud, a distance between the two of them, even a kolshu, even 1 inch. And he's begging him to come to the Levaya. So he went to the Levaya. Here's the crazy thing. The Rav in the shul, I don't know the Rav, but a genius, Mamash B'chachma, he said that both of them have to speak back to back in shul. Great, I've never heard of something like this. So they both spoke. Each one spoke to show the chiba, the reyos, the Havas Yisrael. And on Shabbos, during Shiva, but Shabbos, Yuri Hertzberg and 10 couples, Yuri Hertzberg and his wife and 10 couples showed up at Penny's house on Shabbos and made a l'chaim, made a kiddush. So people that hear this story, they understand the importance of not holding a grudge, of trying to make shalom. And the person saying the story, I don't know his name, but Penny's brother, he says that he had a friend that for 10 years, they spoke every single week, at least 3 times, for 10 years straight. And one day, whatever, Wiederman, he felt that his best friend stabbed him in the back and twisted the knife. That's what he felt. So he stopped speaking to him. Didn't speak to him for 5 years. And because of this story, he picks up the phone. And so many different stories of people that didn't speak to each other for 20 years. And it happens, siblings don't speak, or parents and their children, and the parents always say, well, it's my son, he should call me up first. So whoever you are, wherever you are, everybody should make that one phone call. Lili Nishmas, Sheindel Bas Yehuda Chaim Leib. Mamish, a story of Gvura. All right. What?
Binny is the driver. Penny is the driver.
Oh, Binny.
Binny is the driver.
Binny and Penny. Wow. Okay, sorry.
Penny is the driver.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, listen. Binny needs chizuk. And Akash Baruch should be mechazik him and send a big nechama to the Hertzbergs and the wife. I didn't speak about the wife. I don't know much about her, but she's also Isha Tzitkanis, and she should have a nechama. And they should continue doing the chesed that they do. All right, now we have to learn some Torah. We'll do some Torah, Lili Nishmasa. Crazy stories. There's big tzaddikim out there. Zog the Gemara. Omar, where are we holding? Oh, Omar Avon Omar Rav. Shmudas Yerech Boiv Kshera. Here we go. Starting all over. We're gonna confuse ourselves here, because on the one hand, Rav says that when it pops out of the joint, that thigh pops out, it's kosher. Omar Rav Yehuda, Shmei Rav Omar Shmudas Yerech Boiv Treifa. Rav Yehuda, the famous Talmud of Rav, he says in the name of Rav that it's kosher. It's treifa, sorry, treif. You said a second ago, kosher. What's going on here? Omerlei, beri. Naharu pashte. Wow. What? No, yeah. I thought second time around, third time around, would be a little better. But listen, I think it is for me, it's an emotional story. The godless, wow. Can't picture it. I don't want to picture it. Okay. Nahar Pashte. What does that mean? That every river has a different stream, a different way that it works. And again, you don't have to be a big Gemara, think about Gemara all day, but if you just walk out of the hotel, you see a Nahar. Little beautiful river. And all through Austria and Switzerland and Germany, it's all rivers and rivers through the Alps, the whole thing. And each one has a different size. Some of them are massive rapids, some of them are slower. And Nahar Pashte. But what the Gemara really is saying is like this. It's a little bit of a step over here. Very simple. What happened? Rav holds that when it pops out of the socket, it's kosher. He happened to be at Pumbedisa, and he sees everybody saying that it's treif. The halacha is, when people are makbid on something, you don't tell them, oh, what you're doing is mutter. So he didn't say anything. So he didn't say anything, but Rabbi Yehuda took that silence as if he held that the Rav holds that it's asur. Again, Rav was in a place that it was asur, and he didn't say anything. So his Talmidim thought that Rav holds that it's asur. But in fact, Rav holds that it's mutter. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Abba found Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba checking the tzom sagidin, the tendon. Why are you so into this? Rav says that if the whole entire thigh popped off with all the tzom sagidin and everything, it's kosher. So certainly, if the tzom sagidin itself is snapped, it's not a problem. I don't know about Rav. I don't know anything. I know a Mishnah. It says in the Mishnah, if the animal's leg was cut from the bottom part, it's kosher. and from that part on top, and it's possible. And if the tzemes hagidin are removed, treif by an animal. And Rav says that if there's no tzemes hagidin, it is treif. So what are you telling me? The Rav said it's kosher. Akoponim, we have a contradiction. So that's the whole sugya, back and forth, back and forth. If the tzemes hagidin, or if the joint of the yerech pops out, is it treif or not? But we have a contradiction in Rav. Says the Gemara ishtik. There's someone who explained in Rashi over here that ishtik means that I don't even need to answer you. It's such a not good question. Why? The Gemara goes on to explain why it's not a good question. Omalei, the Baba tells him, it's very simple. There's a difference between when the joint pops out and everything comes out to cutting it. When you cut it, the animal will die. When it pops out, it won't die. What you think that you invented this answer? Rav said this straight out. There's a difference, says Rav, between a joint that pops out or cutting a tendon. What is it called in basketball? Achilles tendon, right?
ACL.
No, that's ACL. That's anterior crucial. I should know ligament, but that's in the knee. But the bottom part, I don't want to. The Achilles heel. My brother-in-law had that. Could snap that tendon down. I don't know if it's some sagidin, but it's something like that. Yeah, it's not a good snap. Yeah. No. On the bottom by the heel, right above the heel, there's a tendon there. If you feel it in the back of your foot, if that snaps, it's okay. Oh, about the time on, don't wonder. You're probably thinking, so what's the difference? What's the difference if it popped out or cut? Shouldn't they both kill the animal? No. If you cut the birds like by the knee of the bird, it'll die. If you cut the tzemes hagidin, it'll live. Yeah, the Achilles tendon. Achilles tendon. Right. People could have that injury during basketball also. So Rabbi goes to Eretz Yisrael, makes Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael. Who went right before him? Reb Zera, says Rashi, and he finds Reb Zera saying, when the bone pops out. Here, let me just turn the camera for a second. Shalom Aleichem. Say everybody Shalom Aleichem to the camera. Oh, you know what? I got to snap back into it. Let me show you this. First, take a look at this. This is just a picture. Nifla. The beauty that the Rebbeinu Shalom created in this world. It's unbelievable. Look at that shot. Look at that shot right there. It's crazy. Yeah. You don't have to go anywhere. Just go to the backyard here. So says the Gemara. You can still come here, by the way. Are there rooms available here? I don't know.
They make room.
They have a hotel down the block. They took the hotel down the block. Yeah. This one filled up. First time ever in Tammuz. Filled up a hotel. Shmak. Says the Gemara. Not so many people there. Really, it's a very small. How many rooms? A very small hotel. 46. Yeah. Tiny.
I thought he said over 50. Yes, how many others?
Oh, I think 56. 56. 56, yeah.
Very small room.
It says the Gemara. Oh, we're holding all the way in the bottom. For what?
He must have advertised well.
Oh.
Expert.
Okay, we're not going to talk about that. That's his thing. We said this. So here we go again. We found Reb Zera saying like this, that Rav said in the name of Rav. Once again, we have like a contradiction. What did Rav say when the thigh is pulled out of its socket by a bird? Treif. On your life, it's like a shvuah, I think. Miyoima the Solik Mar Lahacha. From the day the master came here, in other words, by the way, tomorrow, English is probably about 6 o'clock. Okay. I had the opportunity to speak to Ravuna. And I asked him, Ravuna. A second ago, Ravuna in the name of Rav said it's straight. Now he says it's kosher. We're repeating everything word for word again. I saw Barabba, Yirmir Barabba, checking the Tzomis Hagidin, the tendons over there, the 16 tendons. If it pulled out of the socket, it's kosher. So why in the world are you checking the Tzomis Hagidin? Who cares? It doesn't even need the whole yerech. It's not important. It says in the Mishnah that an animal, not a bird, we're talking about birds here, but an animal whose foot was cut off from the bottom part, kosher. Above that joint is possible. And so too, if you remove the tzomis hagidin, that if you remove the tzomis hagidin by a bird, it's treif. So how come they said in the name of Rav that it's kosher? It's a contradiction of Rav. Is it kosher or not kosher? Ishtik. We had before ishtik because it wasn't a good question. Maybe the pshat is that there's a difference between pulled out of the joint or cut. What you think you came up with this? If you yank it out of the joint, it's kosher because it's going to live. But if you cut it, it's psula. And how do you explain it? Says the Gemara, says Reb Zera, this is what Reb Barav, this is what Rav said. Treifa. So here we have another shita that Rav said is treifa. Treifa. If Rabbi Yochanan was here in the place, and my friends would say that it's mutter when it pops out of the joint, he wouldn't even twitch, he wouldn't make a move, he wouldn't show any discomfort with that pshat. Rebbe says, I mean, this is one of these sugyas. It's going back and forth. Kosher, puzzle, kosher, puzzle. But what's the bottom line? And the Gemara says, its whole thigh popped out. And Rebbe said, this is kosher. Rebbe Chanina takes this bird, the Rebbe said is kosher, and he preserved it. He put it in preservatives, salt. For years, he would pull out this bird, chicken turkey. What is it called? Beef jerky. So chicken jerky. Is that a thing? He preserved it for a long time.
He probably preserved the actual dislocation. I didn't jerky it.
The whole whatever it was, that whole part. Like and it says, Rebbe said this.
In formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde, yeah. And he would take this preserved chicken. He says, Zaytili Rebbe. Oh, you see this bird? This was mutter. Says the Gemara, we can't learn anything. The halach is not like any of these people that say that when the thigh pops out, it's kosher. It's not kosher. Elo. Rabbi Yossi ben Arayas, Rabbi Shua ben Levi, like they asked Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Kederes kona bekama. When there's a hole in the trachea of an animal, we know that a hole in the trachea doesn't make it treif, but there's a certain amount that makes it treif. What's the question at all? It's a Mishnah. The size of a Isser, the Italian Isser coin. He asked him a question from a story. There was a sheep in our neighborhood, its trachea had a hole in it. They put some device on it and it lived. So you see that it could live. What, you're going to rely on a story? Everybody knows that this is the halacha shmutas yarech ba'oiv treifa. So again, after all the back and forth, and Rebbe said it's kosher, and this one said in the name of Rav that's kosher, and then they were kosher. No, everybody knows the halacha in Klal Yisrael. It's already halacha revachas b'Yisrael. This is a This is a standard fight I'm going to have over Shabbos here with the Hasidim. Somebody told this to me this morning about Tefillah Bismano. He says, listen, it's a minig in Klal Yisrael that's accepted, and here he has a good taina from this Gemara. I don't agree with him. I'm just saying this idea comes from here that once it's already accepted in Klal Yisrael, Shmudas Yerach Ba'oif Treifa. Klal Yisrael is machmer on this. They say it's treifa. Yet, so this is fascinating. This is going to bring us into an agadata about Shimon ben Chalafta. Reb Shimon ben Chalafta was like a scientist. He tried to experiment. They have these people that try to experiment stuff. How far could, if you throw a car, a bullet could go through this. So he also experimented different stuff to see different halachas. That what? We know that if a thigh pops out of its socket, it's treif. And Reb Shimon ben Chalafta had a chicken that its thigh popped out. Here we have a video of exactly how it happened and how it worked, because we always try to explain how things happen. How did its thigh pop out of the socket? And what did they do? They made it a cast out of a fake, like a fake little leg, out of a reed. So you see, it could work, and this bird lived. Great. So we have two stories of birds that lived, even though it's treifa. So what's the answer? You must say, since the Gemara tells us that this is a treifa that won't live, you have to say that when they saw that it survived, it was less than 12 months. At the end of the day, when the socket pops, it's treifa. If you saw that it's not, then, I got to do sponsors, thank you. The Attorney of the Daf sponsored by Adar Global, the official non-corporate sponsor of MDY League, Oh, that's what it is. Now I'm hopping what's going on here. There's the MDY League? No. There's the MDY team. 2 teams I saw already this year. Something in American Jackson.
League and a team. It's not the same thing.
No, I don't know what it means exactly. Encore Healthcare as a schus for all of Klal Yisrael. Zog the Gemara. Here we go. Story time. He liked to experiment a lot. He wanted to prove Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah wrong. Why or what? If the larger feathers, there's larger and there's smaller. I just want to make sure. Where am I? Where's that Mishnah? Maybe it's on days. Yeah. Nitla Noitza. Yeah, Noitza is the down, the smaller ones. I made a mistake. Yeah, the smaller ones, the down. Okay, so he says that the smaller ones are puzzle. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, last line on Nun Vavam and Beis in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, in Nitla Noitza Psula, if the down, the smaller ones, so I made a mistake in the Hebrew. Okay, we got to check, we got to somehow fix that maybe. How do we fix it? What? Maybe. Okay. You remind me after share. So, he wanted to prove him wrong. He had a chicken, poked out a chicken that all the down came out, the small feathers. He wanted to show that it could survive more than a year. So he put him in an oven, in other words, a warm place. He took this apron that coppersmiths use, and it's full of copper, little parts of copper. So it's made out of leather. It contains it keeps the heat, the body heat. So this chicken was had a good high temperature. It was able to grow its feathers back better than the first ones. As Rabbi Yehuda might hold that a treifa actually could get better. Unfortunately, nobody should know about this, but if people have relatives that go through the machla, there's a lot of ups and downs. It might be kedai to know. Sometimes like there's like almost like a false hope. It's like, wow, patient's getting much better. I don't want to depress anybody, but in my mother's situation, it could be in other places better. It's like, wow, gewaldig, the numbers are great. Then, wow. The Gemara says over here the same thing. Mishabachas. This treifa is mamish, goes up, but at the end it's going to die. It's going to die. If it's a treifa, it's going to die. So Mela, maybe that's what happened over here. You saw the feathers growing, okay, but at the end of the day, it's still a treifa. It's not going to survive. So it doesn't make any sense. If you want to tell me that the animal gets better in another area, it gains some weight or whatever, great. But to tell me that that area that became treif, that got better, like it has a hole in its heart and that's a treifa, the heart healed itself and it grew stronger and more muscular, and then it's going to die? That doesn't make sense. May I ask him, Midvar, why is Reb Shimon ben Chalafta called a scientist, an experimental scientist? So the famous pasuk, the Shem HaMelech says, go check out the ants. If you're a lazy person, you need to look at the ant. Watch its movements, its ways, and you'll become wiser. Nobody tells it what to do. It doesn't have a mashgiach. It doesn't have a king. It just does. It'll prepare in the summer everything it needs. What? That's why it survived. That's why it's so powerful, because it doesn't have a mashgiach. Correct. So the Gemara says, oh, so you wanted to prove, is it true that what Chullin was saying, that it doesn't have a king? Now I think they say that ants do have a queen, but does it rule the whole nest? I don't know. I think it's more like that's the one that lays the eggs, etc. Also with Kufas Tammuz, what did he do? He went in the summer. Pars say, Mamish like, oh, Mamish kiss from Hashem. We're in Tammuz now. Pars the glime akino de shum shamne. It put it like a clothing on top of the ant hole. One ant came out. So Reb Shimon ben Chalafta put a sign on the ant, whatever it is, it painted it. I don't know what it did. He wanted to recognize the ant. He wanted to see if his experiment is going to work. The ant went back into the, what is it called? Hive? What do we call it? Ant?
Colony, maybe?
Ant colony. Not a bad word. He goes back to the colony. He tells all his friends, you're not going to believe it. I know they have a queen, but what does a queen do?
What does the queen do? The same as a bee?
The colony's heart and reproductive engine, but it's not a dictator.
That's what I said. It's reproductive engine. Okay, so he goes and tells the entire colony.
Millions of eggs. Over 15 to 30 years. That's all she does.
She lives for 30 years? That is crazy.
Nest. Called the nest.
Yeah.
Ant's nest. Okay. Right. So it goes back to the nest and says, Rabbi say you're not going to believe it. Ant hill, ant nest. This shade outside. We could all come and party because they don't like the sun. Nafkuvas, they go outside. So Reb Shimon Chalafta knew this is going to happen. So he pulls his coat right off the ant hole. So they realize, wait a minute, it's sunny outside. So they jumped on top of this ant, this poor guy, and they killed him. Omar, so Reb Shimon Chalafta says, Shmami, no, let's lo malka. Obviously, they don't have a king. If they would have a king, shouldn't they go back and ask permission if they should kill this guy? What does a king do? The king rules the place, makes sure everybody's in line, and if the people are not misbehaving or not, he decides who dies or not. Who told you? Not a good experiment. V'dilma malkave badayu. Maybe Reb Shimon Chalafta didn't recognize, but the king was with the whole group, and he said, "Kill him." Maybe there was a a rule in this nest that the king said, if anybody misbehaves, lies about the weather, destroy him on the spot. I know people that would do that. Like the weatherman says there's going to be rain in Austria this whole week. Shtus him, kill him. Maybe the king died. It was a period, in between period. By human beings, we have periods with no king. What happens if there's no king? There's social unrest. What's the word?
Yeah. Anarchy.
Anarchy. What's it called? Antifa? There's all sorts of behemoths running around the streets. Defund the police. You know what happens when you defund the police? Oh. So let me show you the beautiful video. All I know is that Noam Fix was laughing very, very stark. Okay, here we go. This is the experiment with ants. This is obviously not Rav Shimon Chalaf. Yeah, this is just a guy experimenting. Put his hat over the hole, made shade. What's up with the umbrellas? I didn't get that part. Oh, because they don't like sun, so they all go with umbrellas, and they're like Chinese. They like the umbrellas, and I got it just in case.
The water comes down.
But maybe the king was with them. Oh, maybe they got the rule from the king. Whoever lies gets that penalty with the seal. Maybe it was between kings. Oh, this is sad. It's a beard. It's an ant beard. No wonder all these people say, I don't want aspirin. Don't give me aspirin. Okay, let's just finish up. So it says, Gemara, you should listen to Shlomo Melech. He says there's no king. I know we're late by a minute, but let me just say this real quickly. Tosfos asks a bomb question. There's a famous Gemara that Rabbi Yochanan said that Las Lavai, there's going to be giant gems that are in the entrance to the Beis Hamikdash, and the Talmud laughed inside. And one day he was on a boat and he saw Malachim carving out these giant gems for the doors. And he came back and he says, Rebbe, I saw it with my own eyes. Oh, that's the word he used. Reika! That's the word. Reika, you empty one. You didn't believe me when I said it? Only now because you saw it. And he turned into a pile of bones. So as Tosfos, why is Reb Shimon ben Chalafta not trusting Shlomo Melech? Why? She says, no, he wasn't not trusting. He came to see how did Shlomo Melech know this? How did he figure it out? And some Achrayim want to say that Shlomo Melech himself says, go test it. He says, I'm telling you, go check out the ants. Go watch how they work. Maybe that was part of what he meant. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.